most of what he had done at school, I had seen, it was more extreme. There were some times I went to come pick him up, and he was in this room, and his boots and his backpack and the phone were all like strewn into the hallway. And I had never seen anything like that at home. So some of the behaviors were familiar, but some of them, they were just way more extreme than we had ever seen. And I went into the room, and he's on the table on all fours, just sort of looking right through me, almost like a scared animal. Like, that's what it felt to me. My whole body almost just went numb. And I said, "Hey buddy, it's me." And it just like, it didn't even register. He was like glossed over. Like, I had never seen that. So when they were telling me, you know, he was screaming really loudly, or he was refusing to do his work, or he was on the playground and he wouldn't come in, that was familiar. Some of the extreme things that happened, I had never seen before. I kept track just in his first grade year. When he started first grade, I started keeping track every time that they would send home a slip that would say he went to the time away room. Or, and I kept track of what he did, who he did it to, what the context was, the whole thing. I had a spreadsheet. Between the start of school and when we took him out on February 11th, there were 93 times that he had gone to the time away room. 93 times they took him out of class with other adults, but away from students because of a behavior. And he would either have to have 5 minutes of quiet time or do what they would call a think sheet. And so these were kind of the informed, they were not considered emergency seclusions the way the other ones were that he had. Well, one thing that I think needs to be done is we need to redefine the moments when, what constitutes an emergency. Because right now the guidelines really just say it's a last resort to be used in emergency situations. And that leaves educators with this decision in the moment where their own nervous systems are dysregulated, where they've had different situations in their own past that are triggering things. They have fears. And they're wondering, does this meet the definition of an emergency? This is far too broad. That's not fair to leave those educators making those types of decisions. And without the definition, I mean, if seclusion is defined as something that's legal here, that's gonna be in the back of their mind. If this doesn't work, I can use that. Mm-hmm. Well, when you know this other method, you need to build a relationship with a student. Step 1 is to make a relationship with that student. Step 2 is to make sure they're calm. Step 3 is to ask them to do something. And they've got in the back of their heads, well, if this doesn't work and it gets aggressive, I've got seclusion as an option. Well, if you take away seclusion as an option, they have to rethink the whole process. They can't just jump in to helping a child. They need to get step 1 and step 2 handled first. So I would take seclusion off the table completely. It's never necessary. There's never a reason for seclusion.